Welcome to the Mark Dolan Show, live from the Big Apple, the United States. It is the Mark Dolan road trip. I've got some massive news for you, including revelations about the Queen and her attitude to Meghan Markle. The Queen wanted the couple to divorce, Harry and Meghan. But first, take a look at the view. Isn't it quite something? Absolutely spectacular. That is the Tribeca part of Manhattan. Well, it's the whole of New York, really, from this point of view. And at the end of the video, I've got big news because it's been calamitous, this trip, right? We've destroyed a laptop, we've lost sound equipment, we accidentally went to Portugal. But today, I've had a mega hotel upgrade, a full tour of my brand new luxury hotel at the end of this video. Take my word for it, you don't want to miss it. But first, let's talk about the Queen now. This revelation that's of course dropped in the last 24 hours. The comments of Lady Elizabeth Anson, who was the cousin to Queen Elizabeth and her #1 lady. That's a direct quote. It's been an amazing, fascinating blog from Sally Bedell-Smith on her Substack. And I want to develop what we talked about in the previous video, because the bottom line is, just to bring you up to speed, the Queen was very sad about Harry leaving the United Kingdom. The Queen took the view, alongside her best friend, Lady Elizabeth Anson, that Meghan did not love Harry, which is a devastating revelation, but I would argue completely accurate, because I don't think Meghan Markle is the kind of person that loves other people. Meghan Markle is capable of love, but in only one direction, towards herself, right? The only time she says I love you and means it is when she's in front of the mirror applying her rather voluminous makeup. So Meghan is not somebody, because she doesn't have that big heart, she hasn't got the empathy, it's all about her, which is why, by the way, she's very good at getting what she wants. It's why she's become a globally recognized figure. It's why she's managed to trick Harry into falling in love with her and marrying him. It's why she's now got royal pedigree as the Duchess of Sussex, which, if the couple divorce, did you know this? This sticks in the craw, right? This is an absolute shocker. If Harry and Meghan divorce, which of course they will, because the Mark Dolan Show is the only show in the world which has placed the couple on 24/7 Divorce Watch, she keeps the Duchess title. She is the Duchess of Sussex forever. So Meghan is a pathological figure who gets what she wants, but love is not her commodity, right? It's control, manipulation, and narcissistic behavior. And do you know who called it? Queen Elizabeth II. Now, the Queen had barely known her. The Queen hadn't spent much time with her, because of course the couple met around 2017, got married in 2018. And even then, with minimal contact, the Queen could see, as well as her friend, the other Elizabeth, the two Elizabeths, that Meghan did not love her grandson and that Meghan engineered Megxit. Well, we all know that's true, and now we know that was the view of the late Queen Elizabeth. Well, we're developing that today, because I can assure you, as a man of many decades on this planet and a man of deep instinct, look, I've got my faults, okay? I'm a little chaotic. I mean, I think I've got ADHD. I'm a very lively personality. Cameraman John, let me tell you, is struggling on this trip because I'm giving it this all day long, quite the chatterbox. I've got my failings, but what I will tell you is I've got a gut instinct, I've got a judgment. And it's my judgment that Queen Elizabeth would quite happily have seen Harry and Meghan divorce in order to get her grandson back. She would have wanted it, because Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, was not a shrinking violet, okay? Her first Prime Minister was Winston Churchill. She was in her 20s. She had to grow up overnight. She lost her youth. She had such a sense of honour and duty to the country, and she did not suffer fools gladly. She was no nonsense because she had a hard life. She was tough. Queen Elizabeth was tough as old boots, and she saw Meghan coming. She saw her coming. I promise you, the Queen's taken one look at Megxit, at my husband, and the Queen's like, I know what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a very selfish, controlling person that's gonna split the family and take my grandson to the United States. The Queen was absolutely right. And I mean, no doubt that Elizabeth, based upon all of the amazing revelations from Lady Elizabeth Anson's diaries, that Elizabeth, by the time she was in her final days, she would have quite happily have seen the couple split. Because if they'd split, then maybe Harry would have put a pause button on the spare book, which was such a concern to Queen Elizabeth. And she would have absolutely loved to have her grandson back. So isn't it a terrible thought that the Queen spent her final days worrying about this book that was on its way, which turned out to be even worse than she would have feared, but also reflecting on the fact that She shouldn't have let them get married in the first place. I mean, it's a shame in a way that the Queen didn't step in and say they're not marrying. That's actually, in an ideal world, because the issue you got with monarchs now, they've all gone a bit woke, haven't they? The monarchs, right, they're a little touchy-feely and woke, right? I like the good old days. I nearly fell backwards. We are 21 floors up. I'm a little high myself on the flower sprinkles. I've been eating Meghan's flower sprinkles this morning. Can I tell you about those flower sprinkles, in my humble opinion? Okay? They're toxic, they're hallucinogenic, and people aren't supposed to eat flowers. The bottom line is that the Queen Elizabeth, her last days, she should have been enjoying her life. She should have been drinking tea, hanging out with her grandchildren, having a chuckle, eating scones with double cream and jam. How do you like your scones? Do you prefer your scones with butter and jam, or do you like your scones with cream and jam? I'm going to go butter. I'm butter all the way because I'm an Irishman and the Irish love butter. So all of this has come out, and it's absolutely clear that what should have happened, right? In the old days, monarchs were quite tough. I'm thinking Queen Victoria, who ruled the British Empire, which, by the way, was a fabulous thing. There you go. It was a fabulous thing. Yes, bad stuff happened. But the United Kingdom ended slavery, okay? First country to end slavery at great expense of both money and human sacrifice, right? Of the Navy, who policed the seas in order to end slavery. So the Industrial Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, democracy, representative democracy, rule of law, freedom of speech, all British ideas. So I make no apologies for enormous parts of the British Empire, and Queen Victoria was the leader of the British Empire, a heroic figure, a feminist icon of her time, a rock star. Do you think Queen Victoria would have let Prince Harry marry Meghan on her watch when she's on the throne? Queen Victoria, come on, let's act it out. Cameraman John. Hello, I'm Queen Victoria, leader of the British Empire, which has done some bad things, but which is largely brilliant, including infrastructure and exporting British values around the world. And I've witnessed a young woman, a harridan, called Meghan Markle, and I will banish her from the United Kingdom. I shall remove her Royal Highness titles, and furthermore, I will strip her of the Duchess of Sussex moniker, and I shall decree that she and my grandson, prize royal numpty, the ginger whinger himself, Prince Harry, shall divorce. And I will sign the divorce agreement myself. Meghan Markle is banished from the United Kingdom forevermore. And whilst we're waiting to deport her, we'll keep her in the Tower of London. Now that's leadership. There is no way that Queen Victoria would have allowed Meghan Markle to do this to the royal family all those years ago. Queen Victoria did not take any nonsense, right? She lost Albert, she was in mourning for decades, dressed in black, and an amazing lady. And she would have destroyed Meghan Markle. She would have absolutely, off with her head. And therefore, let me tell you, that it's a shame that Queen Elizabeth didn't do that at the time, that she didn't say, do you know what, I don't want these two married. I don't like this Meghan, she's not marrying. I'm the Queen, they're not getting married, that's it. Because actually, tell me in the comments, right, but you've got, if you're watching the show and you've got mums and dads and you've got sons and daughters who watch the Mark Dolan Show, and there will have been times, right, let me know in the comments, did your mum or dad ever tell you that you can't marry someone? Because I actually miss the days when your parents said, nah, you're not marrying her. I'm not having it, actually. You reckon you love her? You got no sense, you're following your loins. You're not marrying that so-and-so. I miss the days when parents actually put their foot down and said, nah, he's a wrong-un, or she's a wrong-un. And if only Elizabeth had been able to do that, if it was a different time. King Henry VIII, do you think King Henry VIII would have put up with Meghan Markle? I don't think so. Well, we know what he'd have done. He'd have married her briefly and then, because that was an old-fashioned solution to an unwanted spouse, was the guillotine. So it hasn't happened, but I've got no doubt that if the Queen were alive, she would have sanctioned a royal divorce. She wouldn't have just sanctioned it, she'd have paid for it, she'd have bankrolled it. She'd have said to Harry, listen, Harry, I shall bestow upon you many millions of pounds, and I shall ensure that you are financially secure for the rest of your life, and I will settle with that upstart, Z-list actress that wasn't even the best thing in Suits, and you will be financially secure and free from that woman, and welcome back into the family and your frontline royal duties. That's what the Queen, in an ideal world, would have done. And I honestly, she would have made sure that Harry did not suffer in that divorce. It didn't happen. She passed off this mortal coil, knowing that Meghan didn't love Harry, and knowing that they shouldn't have got married, and wanting a divorce. I promise you, I've got my failings, but I've got deep judgment. The Queen would have been so happy if Harry and Meghan had divorced before she passed, right? That would have been her final mic drop. Let's do a mic drop. There it is. There is the mic drop. My work here is done. Harry and Meghan have divorced. Absolutely delighted. Let's have a dubonnet. So there we are. Folks, lots more to come. Let me tell you, an exclusive tour of my incredible upgraded hotel room. It's stunning. You've got to see it. Well, you will see it at the end of the video. Plus, massive embarrassment for the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, in just one moment. Now, big problems for the Duchess of Sussex. Her disastrous business brand, as ever, has had a major crisis after no products for 3 months, right? No inventory. She started selling her horrible jam, which, by the way, isn't even jam. It's a spread, which, as an expert jam maker has said, means that it's not jam at all. If you call it spread, it means the jam failed. Well, her business is failing because she's run out of stock, and they've had to do a groveling apology, hand out free jam, and basically shore up her ailing reputation. So I want to tell you about this. I've chosen a great location in which to tell you about her jam crisis, and it's Chinatown. This is Chinatown, of course, a wonderful part of New York City, historically home to the Chinese community of Americans here on the East Coast. Amazing cuisine, amazing culture, amazing history. But of course, really, Chinatown belongs to all Americans and any visitors. It's a great place, great people. But I will tell you one thing. Hi, Mum. That she's in trouble now. And what's going to happen? Her angry customers want to take her down. And they want to take her down to Chinatown, which is where we are. So the Mark Dolan Show is taking Meghan down to Chinatown, quite literally. And I'll give you the story. So she's apologized to her customers who are angry, disappointed, and upset. Although, can I just say, and I'm not normally harsh about people, but if you're upset about not being able to get hold of Meghan's jam, you're a saddo. You're a loser. Seriously. Is your life so trivial that you even wasted time buying that jam and you're angry about not getting it? I'd be so happy not to get it because I'm sure it's disgusting, with locks of her hair in there, a couple of eyelashes, and some of her spittle. She's stirring the pot with her jam spread, and she's like, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband, spitting in it. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, so here's the hilarious email. Due to high demand, we are unable to fulfill your order of the apricot spread at this time. We're refunding the purchase of this item by the end of this week. They're having to promise to give people's money back because the business has failed. It's collapsed. Imagine taking people's money and then not returning it. It's like disgraced New York financier Bernard Madoff, isn't it? Arguably, this is far worse because jam is involved. Complete nonsense, right? She had a problem with the honey as well. And she said, dear friend, I was so sorry to hear about what happened. Please say we felt just as sad. This was her little honey setback. She had so many problems. We're waiting for the Napa Rosé wine, which is cheap plonk, but not having enough stock, selling stuff to people and then refunding is the hallmark of a failing business. Let me tell you, as ever, as a brand, is dead on arrival. We had American Riviera Orchard, that was the original brand, which violated lots of copyright restrictions and got her in hot water. Plus it was a terrible name that sounded like a skin infection, didn't it? American Riviera Orchard, worse than psoriasis if you ask me. And then we had As Ever, which is another stolen brand. As Ever is the name of a company in New York that sells lovely clothing. So it's dead on arrival, there's no stock, the refunds are happening, the woman's losing money. Netflix are involved, they've invested in this. Are they out of their tiny minds? I think they should stick to screening stand-up specials and TV movies, right? They should give the money to Ryan Gosling for another movie, and maybe send some money to South Korea for another series of Squid Games, rather than give it to the rather fishy Meghan Markle and her very, very concerning business dealings. I've got a parallel for you, by the way. So but you know, remember, no stock for 3 months, then they have the stock, people buy the jam, now they get their money back. Meanwhile, William and Catherine, right, they show you how it's done. William and Catherine have received an amazing honour from the King, which demonstrates to me that the King is ramping up the bitter war of attrition with the Sussexes. And what he's done is he's done something that will massively embarrass Harry in particular, which he's allowed William and Catherine to issue royal patents, okay? This is a brilliant thing, royal warrants, right? Do you know what a royal warrant is, right? It's a royal decree. So King Charles has allowed Prince William and Princess Catherine, Prince and Princess of Wales, to grant the authority to issue royal warrants starting in early 2026. And what it means, Catherine becomes the first Princess of Wales to hold this power in 115 years since Queen Mary. What it is, if you buy something, like for example, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm a fan of Budweiser, which in my opinion is the king of beers. Well, it's not my opinion. It's not my opinion. It's written on the can. It says king of beers. It's written on there, king of beers. And so if I was Prince William, I could issue a royal warrant where I could say, by order of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, I like this beer. So it's basically the crest, the royal crest goes onto products that William and Catherine like. So Meghan is running out of jam and giving people their money back. Meanwhile, William and Catherine are gracing some of the finest brands in the world with the royal crest, their seal of approval, that we love this chocolate, that we love these biscuits, that we like this brand of detergents. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And credit to King Charles, because he is ramping up the honours for William and Catherine. He's giving William more and more responsibilities, partly because he's battling cancer and needs the support of his young son, but he wants William to get ready for the big job, and he wants to acclimatise him. We saw that during the wonderful Victory in Europe celebrations, the anniversary of that. And we've seen it with things like this royal warrant. We've seen it with the King honouring William's work in the military on Armed Forces Day with no mention of Harry. Total gaslighting, total ghosting. So it's another upgrade for the Prince and Princess of Wales, and I'm so happy about it. Cameraman John, what's up? Apparently, I've got news for you folks, because here I am dropping some royal truth bombs, and something's happened, which is that a New York bird, probably a pigeon, has just relieved itself on my head. But there you go. So I think it's a lovely thing. By the way, let me know in the comments, if you were William or Catherine, what products would you grant a royal warrant to, right? It's very simple. It's the monarchy's way of saying this is our favourite brand of jam, our favourite biscuit, our favourite this, our favourite that. What would you issue a royal warrant to? Let me know in the comments. So much more to come. Daily shows live from the United States. Don't forget, 6 p.m. is the publishing time on the East Coast of America. 3 p.m. on the West Coast, California and elsewhere. We also have 11 p.m. in the UK, my country of birth, and early morning down under. And I've got so many more things. Next up, we're going to Phoenix, Arizona. We're hitting Yosemite National Park, Las Vegas, Death Valley, San Francisco, Santa Barbara, and wait for it, Montecito. We're on our way, and I'm going to try to take Harry out for a cold beer, the king of beers, Budweiser, and drop some truth bombs to Harry. It would do him the world of good. I'll see you for the next one tomorrow. Stay awesome. Bye for now. So this is Tribeca, cameraman John, which is a lovely, earthy, bohemian part of New York City, very close to Chinatown. Take a little look. Very pleasant place. and the Mark Dolan Show has had quite a major upgrade. So can I tell you what we've been through? We bought our flights from London to New York. We got to the airport at Gatwick, which isn't in London, but they call it London Gatwick. And they said, where's your visa? I didn't have a visa because I wasn't planning on working in the United States. So we went to Portugal in order to get to America. We went to Portugal by accident. That was the first setback. Then we stayed in easily the worst hotel in the world, which is Motel 6, where we had cockroaches. We had some of the residents smoking hallucinogenic material that was even worse than Meghan's flower sprinkle. There was a lady sat there on a chair in a cloud of platinum smoke. And I'll say I got a little giddy just inhaling near her. So the Motel 6, I barely got a wink of sleep. I slept fully clothed in the bed just so that the termites wouldn't reach my naked skin. And then it got worse because we then went to St. Mark's Hotel, which is a lovely, lovely hotel, right? Nice people, cheap as chips. But the problem with St. Mark's, very central in New York, the loudest aircon in the world. And you need the aircon because New York is hot and sweaty. Hot in the city tonight. So it's so hot in New York, you need the aircon. The air conditioning unit at St. Mark's Hotel, much louder than Concorde. All night. I've slept at music festivals, Mrs. Dolan snores, nothing was louder than the aircon unit at St. Mark's Hotel. Right, then we go to Washington, DC to do a video in front of the White House, and they decide to have the worst July weather in the history of the United States. It was basically a monsoon. It was a mild tsunami in front of the White House. I was actually going to surf. Surfing USA, everybody's gone surfing. Surfing USA. But, so it's torrential rain. And then what happened? It rained all over the camera and all over the sound equipment, damaging some of it, and we lost the whole video. I did half an hour in front of the White House. We think we saw President Donald Trump in a cavalcade, and all of it was up in smoke because of the terrible, terrible weather, right? But it's a happy ending. So that is a disaster. Then what happened is we sat in the car and we did the video near the White House in a car, which wasn't good because we looked like we were up to some kind of criminal activity near the White House making a plan. I then take my laptop out to edit the show, and the laptop is soaking wet because it got caught in the rain in my rucksack. Laptop gone. It is an ex MacBook, okay? It's gone. It's submerged in water, it's dead. So, damaged sound equipment, termite-ridden hotels, the loudest aircon in the history of the world, and then the laptop destroyed. So the Mark Dolan Show in America, right? We love America, we love the country, we love the people, we love the history, the culture, but we've had a lot of problems. But everything has changed today, because today we're in Tribeca, fans everywhere. And we've upgraded the hotel. Cameraman John and I have found a budget for the Sheraton Hotel Tribeca. Take a look. It's great. It's got a working elevator. It's got whisper, quiet air conditioning. It's got lovely staff. It's clean, it's healthy. I'm not going to get rabies, COVID, or any venereal diseases from sleeping in a bed. There are no ladies in a cloud of platinum smoke. Would you like a tour? Come with me. I'm not very good at getting into elevators, right? So we are at the Sheraton. I'm so excited to have a hotel that's staffed by professionals, a building that functions as a place where you would want to sleep restfully and not get eaten by live rats. Anyway, so here we are. It's 22 stories high. I'm giving it 5 stars, and I'm going to give you a tour of the room. So excited about it. Who knows what the future holds, because we're going to Yosemite National Park. I'm not sure how we're doing that. We might be camping, which isn't good news because cameraman John, he's afraid of nature. So this is the Sheraton corridor, which is very comfortable. I mean, there is a little hint of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining about it. It's slightly sinister, but it doesn't smell bad. It's well lit. And look at this, a range of outstanding US brands, including Pepsi, Aquafina, and Schweppes Ginger Ale. And then, of course, the obligatory ice machine. The Americans are very serious about ice. They take ice very seriously. It really matters to them. And therefore, on every floor of most hotels, even cheap ones, you have an ice maker. Check this out. Okay, let's stop. It's rather addictive pressing the ice button. Can I be honest with you? I think I may have accelerated global warming with that little stunt, but it did feel good pressing that button, because in England, the Brits, we're terrible with ice, aren't we? I had a gin and tonic in London a few weeks ago, and it was like 2 tiny cubes of ice. In America, you basically get the whole of Antarctica in your glass. Okay, listen, we're going to wrap this up. This is the maid's trolley. Am I the only one that always wants to steal from the maid's trolley? Isn't it just... Have you had that when you're in a hotel and they've got like the cookies and they've got sachets of instant coffee and little mini shampoos? I'm always dreaming of stealing some milk, free milk. But I don't do it because I was raised a Roman Catholic and my mother taught me the difference between right and wrong. And I will be tempted to steal a lot of these goodies, but I won't. And I wouldn't want to get the maid or the male maid into any trouble. Right, here's the room. Oh no! We're locked out. Okay, what we're going to have to do is get the maid to get us in because we have a problem, Houston. And with the magic of TV, the door is now open. So let me give you a quick tour. Really air conditioned. First of all, it's a lovely big room. Follow me, cameraman John. We've got 2 double beds, one for myself, one for cameraman John. And I like a double bed. I don't know what you think, because technically a single bed works because I'm a single person. But isn't it nice throwing yourself around in a double bed? I find that opulent, very comfortable. Speaking of comfortable, the aircon is perfect here. It's whisper quiet. Listen, you barely hear anything. In fact, the only humming there is the hum of the fan in the bathroom, which is an excellent bathroom. And you've got all of your luxury goods, including a hair dryer. What an invention that is, by the way. Did you know there was a guy called Sir Alex Ferguson? He still is. He's a soccer manager, a famous football manager. And he had such a temper when he shouted at his players if they lost a match. It was called the hair dryer treatment, because when he's yelling at you, it was like having a hair dryer in your face. Sir Alex Ferguson, one of my heroes. Before we go, just kill that for a second. So it's a good room. It's a massive upgrade on St. Mark's Hotel and Motel 6. The Motel 6, by the way, I'm going to rename it Motel 666. Okay? And actually, an overnight stay in hell itself would be more comfortable. So, but this is going to be great for the Mark Dolan Show now, because what's happened is cameraman John and I have managed to get a good night's sleep in a correctly air-conditioned room without termites crawling around the place. A slightly better view, okay? I mean, yes, it's another building, but look at that lovely New York architecture. Some kind of, back in the day, an industrial building of some sort, a warehouse maybe, or house, who knows what, but just good New York architecture and a lovely view. Did you see the sort of street down there, cameraman John? You got all of that? It's pretty special, so the view is good. I don't want to hang out the window and take a proper look because it could all end horribly. But that's really good. And then the room has a couple of great mod cons, okay? A couple of great bits of technology. You have a coffee maker, which is very good. You've got a flat screen TV. You've got your refrigerator. And remember these? A radio. How nice is that?
Surrounding a facility with alligators.
I beg your pardon?
Is there anything comparable in history?
All right.
I know you took us back at the beginning of our conversation talking about some...
Not that easy to turn off 80s technology. And then last but least, a special surprise. Because if you open that door, it all goes very Harry Potter. It all goes very Narnia. Okay, follow me, cameraman John. You think, I wonder if this is a closet of some sort, a wardrobe? Not at all. It is just another door going nowhere. Hello? Is anyone home? Hi, honey, I'm home. Anyway, I don't know if it's the world's thinnest bedroom or what. But it's a nice touch. The extra, I mean, do you know what? Real estate in New York is so expensive that space between the two doors is probably worth $1 million. That is my hotel room. I feel $1 million thanks to the Sheraton Tribeca Hotel. Lots more of this to come.